What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 11, picking up from Stormveil Castle. So before we move forward, just to do a brief recap, at this point you should have everything out of Weeping Peninsula and Limgrave knocked out in full. With that being said, if you struggle with the dragon or maybe the Stormhill Everjail, put a marker, come back later. These events will be here for almost the whole game, so you have plenty of time. But in general, you want to try to have everything done before moving forward, as this is going to be your first legacy dungeon and bring you to your second region, and we don't want to have to look back for anything, right? So with that being said, we're going to be moving forward from Margaret Fell, and all you do is run straight, and you're going to have your next set of grace right out front of Stormveil. So Stormveil being your first legacy dungeon, this place is really big, actually, even though it's the first, and the level design is top notch. There's a lot of layers here, secrets, hidden paths, hidden items, NPC quests, and things to know. So the first thing we're going to be doing before we really cover anything is just going around the outskirts for two items. So right here, multiplayer, you have your fur crawling finger remedy. Then as you go back up the stairs, we're just going to roll off to the left and grab some fire grease. And that's really it. There's a little bit of crafting out here with your Trina's Lily, which those are a little bit rare. So you guys might want to pick that up. But all in all, that's all that's really here. And that will be right here. If you guys want to run around, make a loop, you can. Honestly, it's probably quicker to fast travel. Alright. Now, immediately, this is going to be the front gate. Now, usually you always have to run around the other side to unlock shortcuts, right? This time you don't. You could have the NPC in here, Goostock.
You there?
He'll open the gate for you. What you don't realize is there's like 8 ballistas. There's 3 that's trained on the door. If you're a good enough player, you can roll through these ballistas, and it does put you in the courtyard, which leads out to the Divine Bridge, which is nice. That's a really good area to have early. But the fact of the matter is new players are probably going to have a really hard time here. So instead, what we're going to do is talk to Goostock, and he's going to let us sneak into the castle through this sidewall. So we'll still be able to get to the courtyard, but we're going to have to go the long way, which is also good because we're able to knock everything out. Now, if you use his side gate and you die going through Stormveil, he will take a portion of your souls. So that is important to note. But he's involved in a quest. Nefeli is an upcoming NPC. Goostock and Kennethite all share a side quest. You have to keep them all alive, do all the steps for all 3 quests, and it leads you to a final upgrade mat to get your weapon at plus 25. So losing a few souls, these are replaceable. Runes are replaceable. I wouldn't worry about it, right? You're probably not going to die much here. Maybe there's a few hard fights, but all in all, if you take the right routes, it's really not that bad. So we're going to choose very well, and we're going to sneak out the side. Like I said, runes are replaceable, so we're not worried about it. We want to make sure we do this quest. So while you can find him later and kill him to get your souls back, I wouldn't recommend doing it, right? There's still plenty to be gained here. Now, as we go up, I guess before we go up, we'll talk about Goostock's lore a bit. So Stormveil is the home of Godric the Grafted, which will be your first demigod. Every demigod has a section of the Great Rune, the Elden Ring, right? It was shattered. So they gave a piece to every single demigod. So you'll find legacy dungeons, you'll get them, you get one piece of it, you put it all back together. So with Godric being the leader here, Goostock kind of works for him, and his name is Godric the Grafted. So he takes human parts and grafts them to his body. So that's what Goostock does. He tries to get people killed so he can bring their bodies to Godric. It's very sick and twisted. But while we're here, I figured I'd cover the lore. I said we would do that as we go through different regions and meet different people. So very briefly, we'll cover the lore for those that are interested. But either way, getting here, we'll go up top, cross your battlements, free smithing 2, drop down, fight a sword bird. So these guys are a little obnoxious. Just use your shield. You can parry one of their attacks, which will be that one. But it's easy enough just to guard counter. Because I understand not everyone's going to be able to parry, although I would recommend people dabble with it a bit, because certain enemies, certain fights are so much easier if you can parry it, to be honest. It takes a little while to learn, but man, is it rewarding. Alright, buddy. So we're going to go down, take out 2 sword birds, go to the left-hand side around the wall. This is just a few bolts, for anyone wondering. Now, if you would have went to the right instead of dropping down here, that would have progressed you into the castle. But, we have items to get. Now, it's going to be 3 more birds as you approach. You'll see one on the ground. Isn't he? Yeah, one's on the ground, one's up there, and then one's to the right somewhere. I think he might be right above our head. So, as soon as you go for this guy, the others will come in. I wouldn't rush them down. Well, maybe you could get a little bit. True. And you can actually get their sword to drop. It's an okay dex weapon. Depending on which affinity you have set, which Ash of War you use, and if it's fully upgraded or not. Smithing 3 was guaranteed. It's a rare drop for sure, but yes, you could technically farm up that, that one-handed sword, good for dex spells. Alright, so from there we just follow this around, get your side of grace. Now, if you have a halberd or a spear, it would be beneficial to use for stormveil. I'm not saying you have to, but it would be nice. And the reason for that is if you look up this path, it's real narrow, and you're going to have to fight guys on it. So, having a thrusting weapon could help quite a bit. Although we have our, charged heavy, so it's kind of an overhead, so that lines up too. But you just want to be careful. So as you go up, he's going to alert everybody. You could wait and try to backstab him. But if you time it right, you should be able to just hit him as they charge at you. Or you can get a little off. There it is. So just, do your best. Line them up. Guard counters, whatever you got. Now you notice there's a guy up top throwing fire pots at you. You can't get to him, so just, take it and try. So we're going to take these guys out. Don't go up the stairs just yet. There's actually a trap waiting on you. It's going to turn on our lantern. We'll have a bigger guy. He's just bigger. I wouldn't call him like a mini boss or even a elite enemy for that matter. One heavy attack takes him out just fine. Hook claw is another dex weapon with blood loss. You could two-hand those as well. So you're going to be losing out on a little bit of reach, but you're going to build up blood loss like a mofo, and they're very, very quick weapons. Now, when you go up, if you have access to flame sling, you could use that and break those explosive barrels. If not, what you want to do is just run up or run back. See that? Let them throw their fire pots and just sneak past. Take him. Yeah, gotta be careful. Take him. Now we want to run and jump to the left. Then we'll jump back. Instead of going straight, I'm gonna be honest, the only thing going this way is your St. Trina's arrows. These are sleep arrows, but there's a few guys to clear. You never know what they're gonna drop, so we'll go ahead and grab them. But yeah, there's only one item to get. So we'll take him. And just wait. I was hoping to get their armor. Their armor is actually okay looking. I think it looked better on a female character, but it is male armor. It just kind of looks like a skirt a bit. But no, it's really nice. It's like the first real looking armor set you're going to find in the game. We did grab the item off that body. And that guy that just did a fire pot, he's usually sitting on that ledge right up top, right there. But if you take that outside path we took, he'll usually come down. If not, he's probably going to be sitting right here. Now, as I mentioned before, Gustok is trying to get people killed to take their body parts and give them to Godric to be grafted. We've mentioned this before. So we'll let this play out. As soon as you open this door, you're going to get a cutscene. You're just going to kind of hear him laugh and lock you in the room. Banished Knight. Now, you need to take this guy out and get the key to proceed, or you could just, run up and get the key. But if he does that, that's what you want. It just fight's over. You know what I mean? Then we're going to grab a talisman. Curved sword talisman. I think it strengthens guard counters. I didn't write that one down. It's going off memory there. But yeah, enhances guard counters. So guard counters will do more damage and posture damage. It's okay. It's not bad. I mean, hell, right now, guys, look at how many fucking talismans you already have. Just from your first read. Isn't that crazy? There's so many in the game. But they really throw a lot at you at the start, making sure you actually are set up, for the journey ahead. So rolling back down, we're going to go to the right, throwing daggers, and now we can enter this door. Which is obviously why we didn't, go this way before. A lot of looping around. You guys are going to notice. Not just with this series, but every series, you know, when it comes to doing walkthroughs results, like it's just looping around, get all the items. It's the best way to do it. Elden Ring just really doubles down on that. Now we're going to go to the right side first, because it's, you know, the optional path. If you like Spire, show them some of your own. Or just roll through and, you know, smack them. Alright, now on the way back, we want to run and jump to the left. Don't worry about that item, it comes later from a little trick drop. And wait. There you go. And going in here, get you another strength weapon. This is actually really nice. It doesn't have crazy reach. I've used it before my first playthrough, but what it is it's a big, great hammer. I guess we'll put it on. It's not super long, but it does a lot of posture damage and just does damage, you know, in general. 31 strength requirement. Comes with a B scaling, not even upgraded. So I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it'd probably go to S. But yeah, the reach isn't quite crazy. It's more, I guess, great sword length. But you're going to be breaking enemies' posture left and right and get a lot of critical blows with this thing. So it's super, super dope. Alright. Now with all that caught up, we're just going to roll off. And we do have to, you know, take our ladder back up, unfortunately. A little tedious, but not bad. We don't need gestures. We need ladders. Alrighty. So now when we go up, we can go to the left. The thing of it is, there's a guy here wanting to backstab you. So... Dagger's great for critical attacks, but if you're doing a dagger, the only way it's good is if you're dueling, in my opinion. There's some later in the game that are super powerful. We'll switch that up eventually. Like I said, it's just smart to have, you know, get yourself a shield, great sword, then a dagger for doing critical attacks. So, you know, you break the enemy stagger, switch over, get your critical, get increased damage. It's just a nice playstyle. And they're light too, so it's easy to keep on. And then you can just throw Golden Veil on one, use it, buff up your damage, switch back to your other weapon, you still have that buff. So it's just smart to use daggers. They do a lot of great things, right? We showed that off before, but it's going to come to play heavier and heavier as we go on, because we get a dagger here that we'll probably use for most of the game. It's going to trade that position. You know, we're going to swap it out for that one. Now you guys all have your own playstyle, but the recommended build is something we're going to be going with. Like I said, smart. Now this guy, we showed you where to farm Banished Knights at the start of the game over in Caelid, the Church of Dragon Communion. I went ahead and I farmed the whole set, right? So we have this whole set. However, this guy has a different helm. So if you guys want to farm that up, it's really nice looking. In fact, we could probably pull off the one we picked up. This is the other Banished Knight helm, which I actually like this one better. So we don't have the weight, but if you bring up your stamina in early game, you went and farmed up this set, you'd have one of the best armor sets in the game right at the start. Look at that. Just phenomenal set, super beefy, offers a lot of protection. However, fucking heavy, right? It's fucking heavy. I mean, we are carrying more weight than we can even handle, and you're only supposed to actually have on like 70%. So, you know, it is something that you're gonna have to work towards. But yeah, I mean, you could just go all in right at the start of the game if you know what to do. They were still in heavy. Oh, the helm, I never took it off. If I didn't have on the dagger, I could probably wear the helm. Either way, guys, when you go up top, just run straight over here to the left, grab your side of grace. As soon as we grab this, we will be going back, as there's one item we need to pick up. Now I'm going to go ahead and rest. For this one item, I wouldn't worry about it. You could just wait. However, I want to try to get this helm again. I mean, farming's farming. You never know, but it's worth a shot. With these harder fights, because remember, you know, if you take the shortcut and you die, restock is going to take some of your souls. So when you get in these harder fights, what I would recommend doing is just try to circle around, get backstabs, play it safe. Now going back down out the door, what you're going to do is look for this ledge. It's tight, so easy to overshoot. So tight, look at that. But what you want to do is just run and drop. Now, hopefully we don't get detected here. That way we just grab our H relief and jump back to Rampart Tower. Looking at our time, 15 minutes, looking pretty good. Exactly why I decided to go for hour-long episodes so we get enough done, because it's kind of flat though. Either way, from our new side of Grace, we're going to backtrack. You should find Gustav kind of fucking with his body, which will probably happen, I think, after you get your shortcut. You come back and you'll see him. That's how you pick up on the lore of him bringing dead bodies to Godric, because you'll see him. Oh, this body's no good. He's too skinny, or whatever you say. It's fucking, it's wild. Now, I guess to show this off, you get to go upstairs to the rooftop, which is something we'll do in a bit, and this is a shortcut. But before we do any of that, what we're gonna want to do is go back to our side of Grace, then go outside. So there's a lot of paths that you're gonna have to cover here. It's a lot of do and do again to get all the items, but I do believe going this way first is best. Now, hopefully you can take him out from range. If not, just wait on him. There's going to be 3 instances where these birds are picking up explosive barrels and throwing them at you. It's kind of delayed, but best thing to do is roll to it. Just wait. Roll. Wait. Roll. Look at that. He took out his buddy. It just depends how it lines up. You're not guaranteed to take that guy out, but you very well can, Alright, so with them taken out, we're actually going to proceed from this drop, but not just yet. What we're going to do first is go all the way back. You're going to have another bird. Just wait on him. Dodge. Oh! Forgot the fire sword, guys. Well, we didn't have the fire affinity on. We had to actually, use the weapon art to get fire before, but then I switched to fire affinity and forgot that we did that. Now, over here, once you got that, you could actually do a drop right here to kind of a hidden area. There's only a few items on this roof, so we don't have to worry about it later. What we're going to do, you just run down very quickly, but not, don't have to try. Yeah, we'll run around the other side. I was going to go and grab them, but no, there is a drop we have to take, and we can't get back up, so we will have to wait. That's right. Not a big deal. So now that we've got that cleared, what we'll be doing is going this way. Like I said, there's a lot of loops and re-loops, essentially, so we'll get it from another way. Just arrows. So you're going to drop. There's nothing to the left to worry about, so what we're going to be doing is going to the right. Dropping here. It's daytime, but there's so many shaded places. Putting on the lantern probably not bad. Right. Like I said, a lot of super hidden, obscure things as you go through this game, y'all. And we roll off. Now there's going to be a series of drops, and then the floor is actually going to break. So don't worry about it. It's supposed to happen. There's immediately going to be a scarab, but you're going to want it. It gives you a spell. There's an acid war. There's a spell for it. Yeah, it's acid war, so it's all. So that's the same thing the Banished Knights were using. And then you're going to have to get ready for a hell of a fight. Does that come with parry? Yes, it does. So remember I said parry's better with a smaller shield to get more iframes. So as you progress, run over, grab your Somber 2. Now you have another Crucible Knight. Now, you can get in the bushes and get up behind him. But the thing of it is, you can't actually backstab Crucible Knights. I think it has something to do with their armor or something like that. So you can't attack them from the back, but you cannot backstab them. Now, this guy does not have the same health as what he caught the Everjoker, so you guys know. You notice we only got 2 hits off 2 criticals, and that's pretty much all she wrote. His health's almost done, so. These guys are just super fucking enemies at the end of the day. So taking him out gives you an aspect of the Crucible's horns. This is another incantation where you're going to use your shoulder and you ram people, but the Crucible horn pops out. Same thing he's doing. And once we got that, we can go up. You can't see shit You're going to notice that, you can kind of climb this battlement a bit, but there's just nothing's going to come of it. There's no items to grab. Same thing on the other side. So there's just nothing, really going on here. But you can look around if you want. Either way, now that we got that, we can go ahead and take this lift up. And get you your first shortcut. And now Goose Talk's here. See what I'm saying? So if you get the lift, he'll show up.
Bones. Worse than a petty squire. Not a muscle on this one either. For God's sake, don't scare me.
See, that's what he's doing. He's trying to find bodies for God's sake.
What?
I'm just clearing out some corpses.
Leave them about, They'll start to pong, eh?
So.
Oh, it's my...
That just exhausts his dialogue, which is actually optional. It's not something you have to do, but still. Now from here, we'll go ahead and rest, and we're going to take the rooftop route. As far as that other stuff on, over there, don't worry about it, because we're going to just go through the castle, and then come back up, take the ladder, and, get the items then. So you can do it now, you just don't have to. So instead, what we're going to be doing is taking the rooftop route, which will drop us down to the courtyard. So help us actually clear a little bit of territory here. Take him, then you're going to turn around. This is hard to see, there's a little ledge here. You're going to try to run out and jump across. I don't know if you can walk across. I've never tried. It's so thin, I just assumed you'd fall. But, you guys have that if you want. I'll usually just run right where it thins up, we'll jump, just to play it safe. Now, you're going to go out into this rooftop. It'll look like a dead end with a bunch of guards. If you play your cards right, you can pretty much take them all out without alerting anyone, because they're all sleeping. There's one guy up top with a horn, and he's going to alert everybody. But if you go into crouch mode, go outside to the right. Sometimes there's one tucked over here, there's not, so we're good to go. He probably came in. Now, this guy's the only one awake. You're going to see one here sleeping, two there sleeping. I think there's like one here, yeah. So what you want to do is just crouch, walk around, get a free backstab on him. We don't want to do this at night, but I don't want to have to go through this again because we rested, you know what I mean? So, if I was you guys, I would go back and rest. I have limited time per episode. You guys have all the time in the world. This is going to be kind of hard to see. Fortunately, I know where everything's at, so it's not a big deal for me. Yeah, there's some stuff you're really going to want to see well here. Alright, so with all them cleared out, looks like this goes nowhere, and you probably overlook this and go back in, but what you might not realize is you could run right here, jump across on this, and while you could drop down here, what we want to do is take this to the right-hand side. Then you're going to run and jump, follow this around, drop down for a stone sword. And right under you is another bird, but this one's much more elite. So if you see a bird with kind of like that little helm on, he could blow fire too. Try to, put him down before you can. Then we can go across for a gesture. The dozing cross-leg gesture. It's actually a pretty popular one in the community too, believe it or not. Alright. Now, we can go this way to go to the courtyard, this way to go up top. Before we do any of that, what we're going to do is go to this far side. You have to be really careful here too, guys. If you're trying to get on this brick, but you don't want to overshoot it. You can actually walk across. You don't have to jump every time. What we're looking for is right here. I'm going to follow this around. Told you, platforming in this game is absolutely insanity at times. So easy. I mean, I overlooked these my first playthrough. I'm not embarrassed to say it either, because look at it. I overlooked this. I overlooked that stone sword key. The gesture. I didn't get none of that shit. Now, that will take you to the courtyard, but not before we go up top. Anything something looks like, you can climb it, 9 times out of 10 you can. And it's always worth giving it an attempt. Now, there's quite a few guys up here. What I'll do is I'll rush them down. I'll go behind, because these guys are going to shoot bolts. By the time they do, it's pretty much clear. Oh, he's still alive. It usually does help. Alright, let's, give Get back to cover. Oh, finally got the armor. Now, I was wanting to get it, now we got 2 in a row. Isn't that wild? It's the thing about item discovery, you never know what you're going to get. A lot of times it's consumables or arrows. Sometimes it's some good stuff. Alright, so this, with them cleared out, if you're actually doing, like, you have like a bow for a secondary build, this is a good place to get a bunch of feathers for your arrows, because there's just a pile of birds up here you can take out if you're quick about it. You know, help you get some feathers and stuff like that. Claw Talisman, this is actually worth a talk about. So with the Claw Talisman, it's going to enhance the damage of jump attacks, right? So that's good for every build. It's especially good for like a strength build, dual wielding great swords, right? Doing something. I didn't put it right hand. Just quickly, you know, to talk about it, but you know, like dual wielding great swords. Crazy build, but that is going to, you know, boost jump attacks to a lot of posture. But the best thing it's going to do is you're going through the game, you're putting blood loss on 2 curved swords, and while you jump, that is 4 hits that are all getting a damage boost. 2 on the way up, 2 on the way down. All 4 of those hits get a damage boost on top of any blood loss you're building up. That is absolutely absurd. Completely badass. You gotta love it. But now that we got that, it's gonna get our setup back, and we are good. All right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's worth a mention because that's another place a lot of people are not aware of, and it is exceptionally fucking powerful. You know, and it can be for sure. But either way, guys, now we have all that cleared. We're just gonna take this around. Now, as soon as you take this around, we're not dropping in the main courtyard. We're gonna be taking this all the way to the front gate, so we can get ahead and take all the ballistas out, get the Divine Bridge unlocked, you know, open that main gate, and just kind of get all this knocked out. The fact of the matter is once you get right here, there's another Banished Knight, yep, right here, so we're going to crouch, drop, crouch, and we want to backstab the Banished Knight, so while he's trying to recover, hopefully we can take this other guy down. Quickly, you know, quickly as possible. So with that taken down, over here is just nothing, just to show off. You know, there's nothing going on. Drop, but you know, we're not worried about it. You'll see that item down there. We're gonna get to that, but we're gonna get to it a much safer way. So instead, what time is it? Night. Time will eventually pass and become daytime. I was just hoping it'd be soon. Now remember, if they do that wind astral force, that comes in 2 always. Alright, so go ahead and grab your cookbook. So you could run, jump, drop down there for a great shield. Once again, we are going to get it, just not from this way. So instead, we're just going to keep on heading down. Be 2 regular soldiers here, but just ahead, things are going to get hairy. This is another phenomenal weapon if you just drop. It's such a rare drop, but that axe has a wild heavy attack. It's so badass, it's worth farming. But right here is 2 Banished Knights back to back. So one's tucked over here to the right, one's straight ahead. Damn it, I'm trying to get to it quickly. There we go. And that's what I would do, just use heavy attacks. I mean, we'll have upgrades where these guys aren't super crazy. And I mean, they're still very much a threat, don't get me wrong. But you should be able to put them down fast enough before it's too much of a problem for you and it gets too much to handle, right? Also, another great farm because you get to fight 2 of them back to back, plus the other one that was on the route, right? So if you're still trying to farm up this armor or helms, whatever it may be, fantastic time for it. Festering Bloody Fingers invasion item, and that just drops you to the courtyard, but we don't want to take that way. Today we're just going to keep following this around. Now this is where all the ballistas were trained on that front gate, right? So going this way, we could actually come right behind because they're all on a higher ledge. You can't really reach them from down below unless you have probably a bow. Even our incantations are, not going to reach. But what this does is we're slowly working our way down, so we're coming right behind all of these guys. You can break them, no one can get back and use them again. But if you rest, they will respawn. So it's not much of a point, unless there's a bunch of guys around and you don't want someone else to use them. I swear these things have more health than they actually do. Alright. Did we get his drop? Nope. Pick that up. Pick that up. You're going to get a lot more upgrade master here. Probably enough to start on a, bringing a second weapon up. Since a lot of us have already used the smithing stones that got you guys at the start. I haven't went too crazy with them, but, I've gotten a few upgrades. You'll get quite a few ones going through here, like a lot of ones. You even get a handful of twos. Then, only a few threes. Now, going down, what we're going to want to do is just run. So in case you die, you'll get the side of grace. But we are not going to rest, right? We're not going to rest. While we're here, we can go out here for a set. Not too attractive. It's just your commoner simple garb. And that will drop you down where we originally met Goose Stock. No reason to do it. No reason at all. That opens the main gate. Now we can get those items. So, as I said, there's multiple ballistas trained on you, but there's more too. These are the ones that were trained on the door alone. So as we go back, there's still others to worry about. But that does let you get all the items that we could not get before. So that wraps that up. 1, 2. Thank you. I wish it would turn daytime sooner rather than later, but we'll be okay. Come on, reach. Thank you. Probably gonna run through quite a few heals here, guys. Now, all we're really doing at this point is kind of running and clearing all these assholes out, but we're actually going to be going to the right side first. Don't rush to the right just yet. There's a huge threat facing you that way. Don't worry about these guys. How we might even rest while we're over here. This next side of grace. We probably should, but all these guys are going to cut back to the thing. So before you go any more forward, go over here to the right. Make sure you heal because you have to take this asshole down. If you're worried about them, run through, get your side of grace. So these guys do not respawn. There's a set amount in the game, and every time you take them out, you get somber stones. Later, if you are in the game, the better somber stones you get. Kind of like room bears, where you're just trying to get your charged heavies and you're dodging their bullshit in between. And similar to room bears as well, 3 charged heavies typically do. Take him out against Beast Blood, Somber 1, and Old Fang. Old Fang and Beast Bones are actually, Beast Blood, are actually pretty damn rare crafting ingredients at the end of the day. There shouldn't be anything over here. I think there's crafting, but there shouldn't be like any items. And even crafting, there's not much around, like a herb leaf or something. So you're gonna see your Banished Knights. Pretty cool layout here. I like it. But either way, guys, moving forward, we are going to rest. We don't really have a choice. We have 2 heals. And from here, we have to work to the courtyard filled with guys, and fire ballistas, and crazy shit. That's going to get us up to 30. So we have 10 more levels, and health is pretty much done until the end of the game. Like, it's crazy. We're almost, caught up with all our base stats. Either way, guys, from here, what we're going to do is run up for a talisman. Then I would like to talk to you guys about the Divine Bridge for a second. So the Divine Bridge is how you activate Great Runes. When you take out main story bosses, as I said, you get their Great Rune, which is essentially a piece of the other rune. Now, you need to activate Great Runes. So you have to look for Divine Towers, right? So this is going to be the one for stormveil. So after we take the boss out, we need to work our way down and activate the Great Rune here. So if you notice, there's a tower here, there's one here, There's one here. There's going to be one here very late game, and then there's others here. And it makes pretty much a perfect symmetrical circle, symmetric circle. Fact of the matter is, we have to take out the boss before we get this one, right? And they all have their own gimmicks and stuff that goes with it. It's actually one of the cooler parts of the game for sure. Fact of the matter is, we got to take the boss out first, but what I like to do is have this unlocked, right? So when we take the boss, all we have to do is fast travel here, then we can knock out a bridge. So it just seems to, work out nicely. So either way, now that we got that, let's make sure it's daytime. I should have went back and changed it for you guys, so you guys can see. Okay, so I know where everything's at, so it didn't really matter. You guys would have had a daylight on your screen. It probably would have made things a little bit easier, I'd say. Fortunately, I just didn't have the time to do that. All the running around, re-killing enemies and all that. So now, we're going to come back out. Like I said, unfortunately, we'll have to take out a few of these guys at the very least. Did rest. But guys, we really need to rest. 2 heals for what we have coming up. Not good. Alright, there's quite a few things to pick up. Good heal. Alright, tough guy. Thank you. On a new armor set. Oh yeah, 3 hits. So their combo is always 3 hits. That's what I told you guys earlier. Guard counters is a really good playstyle, but you got to make sure your guard counters are being worked on the last hit of a combo. You're just gonna get popped like I did. So it does kind of take learning enemies' movesets, but still. So what we're going to be doing is going on the left-hand side. And this part is a big problem because there's a guy on the left using a ballista. And you're trying to jump this gap and you have to deal with this bullshit, right? So you go up. Yeah, then there are also delayed explosions. But what we're going to do is run and jump. Just kind of wait for the opening there. Go this way for your arbalist. Right here. And it's like a crossbow, old school crossbow. And you still got that guy. So all I'll typically do is use this rooftop. Try to run, jump back. You don't have to take this guy out, but he deserves it. And also, when you do this jump, I guess it's good to have. I want to show you guys this. When you do this jump, you're going to run and try to jump from the edge, and you're probably going to miss because you don't realize it dips down a little bit after that ledge. So, just to show you, see how that dips down a bit after? That's where you're trying to jump from. Run, jump now. I should have called that out, I guess. Didn't want to overwhelm you guys with information. Hey, buddy. You're done. Alright, so that is this area cleared in full. Up to this point, obviously. But, as far as, like, those ballistas and all that. Now, from here, you're going to go right to the courtyard. But we're not going to be doing the courtyard this episode. Now, these fire ballistas that actually go side to side, I don't know what you really call them. I call them fire ballistas, it's kind of like a fire sting. But they can move side to side. Now, with that being said, I've already mentioned, but we're not going to be doing the courtyard just yet. I wouldn't worry about the items. What we're going to be doing is just running straight, going to the left, we're looking for this door. We still have this, whole half of the castle to clear this episode. Like I said, this is, stormveil is a 2-part. There's just so much here. But there's still a lot left. We're breaking the castle in 2. Now, as soon as you go in, clear out whoever followed you, right? Then we'll go in, go up top, smack him. Then we follow this around. Grab your arrows and drop. Now, we have to fight another really big scion, that guy from the start. Now we've already actually not counting one earlier, we've already fought 2 of these guys in one of our dungeons, if you guys remember, so should be pretty familiar. We just use Bloodhound's Fang weapon art. I laid them with Blood Flame Blade. We can fight 2 of them once. But if you're not doing that tactic, all you're doing is dodging through the bullshit, walking through the rest, charge heavy, put him down. He will not respawn. He's pretty much a gatekeeper for your shortcut over here. So if you run straight on through, you can now unlock this shortcut, which puts you in a prime spot. Now, since we're here, we'll go up and rest. Alright, so now that we're full on heals, we'll go back down. Now, first thing we're going to be doing, I'm going to check something. We have 3 stone swords, okay. Definitely want to make sure you have stone sword keys, although we'll pick up some too. So when you go back out, there's going to be room to the left, room to the right, and then, you know, down there on the right, we'll let you progress. We're going to go to the right first. There will be a few dogs here. More importantly, there's actually some to talk about lore-wise. So if you're like on a blind playthrough, you're like playing the game linear. If you were to come here before you went to Liurnia to move, what's her name, Roderica on, this item would not be here. This is actually Roderica's cloak. It's a crimson hood that she was wearing. But once you go to Liurnia, she moves to the Round Table Hold. Then you'd have to come back to get that, because there's a story implication here. It makes you think she got killed, but the fact of the matter is she didn't. When she was telling you how she escaped Stormveil Castle, that was left behind. Now what that does is give you a little bit of health, so it's okay. It's probably better for a female character, although I've never put it on. I guess it doesn't look that bad. It could go either way. Yeah, but if you were to read about it, make sure you're always reading about stuff too. Articles of clothing, especially because you overlook them. A hooded cloak of vivid crimson worn by exasperated royalty increases vigor. So, I don't think it's much, but there's a lot of armor sets and helms especially that give you certain things. And, you know, if you're not reading about them, you might be missing out on some stats you can pick up. Like there are helms you get in the Liurnia that adds 3 and 6 points to intelligence. So, like, there's a lot of really good things. That axe you picked up is a solid one-handed axe. I really like it. Once we get all of our items, we'll be heading on up. Now, there's also a guy to your right. That is another shortcut we'll get, but telling me to do it's kind of pointless. Then from here, we're going to have another Banished Knight. So this is the halberd version. He can be kind of a dick, but it's an easy backstab to get, usually. We'll still squeeze one out. Give me your helm. It's okay. We already got it, but it's a good armor set. Now this is going to be a utility item, really good for PvP, but it does have applications for PvE, you know, meaning the regular game. Mimic's Veil is an item you can put on like your quick slot menu, and what it does is it transforms you into something in the area, a random statue or chair, or, you know, whatever it is. Where the fuck are you? So if I were to use this, I could blend into the environment. And I can move around, and I can stop. So if you're doing invasions or something, you know, it's pretty creative. But also, I've seen people use this for AFK farms, meaning like if you go to an area of the game where enemies are fighting each other, you can just turn to this, sit up on a ledge, let them kill each other and get runes forever. Aside from that, it's a good way to just kind of sneak up on guys. Not something to be entirely serious with, in my opinion, but definitely worth, you know, showing off. Now, we are going to go this way. But first, we're going to backtrack a bit just to make sure we get all the items. So, running straight across. Take him out. Then right here. Right here. Grab gold rune 2. Now going out this way is going to be a regular soldier and a banished knight. I could try to get down one before the other. If you line it up like that, it's fairly easy. Now we're going to take this up. So this is that rooftop I started to do. I'm like, wait, we'll get it from the other side. It's going to be easier. So what's going to happen is you're going to go up this ladder, run around to the left-hand side. You're going to see your drop right here. All the way down. You pick up kukris. And then we can just drop down here, go to the right, and meet Rajier. So we briefly talked about Rajier earlier on. He has the quest that ties in with Fia's quest and Dee's quest. And this does lead to a secret ending for the game. It's a non-trophy ending. However, we are going to cover this. So to that end, for now, you can go ahead and talk to him. You're going to talk about being tarnished, how he doesn't see the rays of grace anymore. He's kind of, lost from the tree, so to speak. And he also tells you ashes of war.
I'm looking when I'm not.
But you will be able to,
exactly.
just get a little bit of story elements here. So I'm here to
you can
defeat
see
Godric.
well. I'm tired, but unlike you, I've seen neither hide and still. I'm privy to. Would you care to learn as a fellow?
Now, the good thing here is with this, you can set the affinity to magic and get magic damage on your weapon with every hit, so that's cool. But you put Glintstone Pebble on a weapon, like a melee weapon. Carrying Great Sword says a Ash of War that just extends your sword using magic, comes down for a big hit, which is pretty cool. But the good one here is Spinning Weapon. Because with Spinning Weapon, if you have blood loss on your weapon, you'd hold it out and it just spin, 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 do a multi-hit on enemies, and it's actually pretty dope and absolutely fucking shred their health apart. So a lot of cool applications if you know what to do. Now going out, we'll kill the little bums out back, and we are good from this point. So what we're going to want to do now is just backtrack. This was, clearly just to get items. That's it. There's still a few things behind us. So, as mentioned before, we're going to go back to where we got the Mimic spell in that room. But before you go in, over here to the left, it's just kind of overlooking those dogs. What we want to do is go to the right, use the sandbags, take him. If you're using like a strictly mage or faith build and you're struggling with the Banished Knight, you can probably just hit him through here with your spells. But my opinion, if you're doing intelligence or faith, you should probably have at least something physical going on. You should be doing melee too to get the best out of your build. I mean, it's like, use a badass sword that does magic, but also have your staff so you're set up for melee and you're set up for casting. That's what I would recommend. Because intelligence isn't just casting. There's some super, super dope weapons skill of intelligence. Like there's one later you get a great sword that's frostbite and magic damage. Very powerful. Pretty much strictly intelligence, but it does give you options. Either way, guys, as you follow it through, right here's a stone sword key. If I could actually pick it up and stop doing gestures. No, stone sword key was there. Pickle turtleneck's here. Now, once you get here, what we're going to do is we're going to roll off and actually just shoot over here to the left-hand side. You guys remember there was that other room. I didn't forget about it. I just figured we'd do it full circle. So when you go into the right, we were overlooking that earlier in the episode when we were working towards the front gate. I said, don't worry about that item. We come back for it. That's what that is. Then we can pop our stone sword right here. This is going to be nice. We're going to get your second wet knife, which will let you add different affinities to your weapons. Change the scaling. But we also get my second favorite dagger in the game, which will be replacing the one we have now. And that's Mazak Ward. Mazak Ward's absolutely phenomenal. For one, it's bigger, it's longer. The crit modifier is much more than 110. I'll show you. It's very, very powerful. There's usually one guy out here. So as mentioned, the tactic, the strategy, how you should use is, use your regular weapon setup, break enemy staggers, switch this for critical attacks. Most daggers are 110. Most weapons are 100, so you just get the basic critical damage, right? Switch to a dagger, it gets 110, which is nice. But with this guy, that's 140 critical modifier. And this can be boosted more with certain ashes of war and things of that nature. So it's just really fucking powerful. At the end of the day, it's really fucking powerful. Either way, guys, with that, that does actually wrap us up for this episode. So, at this point, we have already cleared all the battlements all the way around, and we have essentially done the first half of the castle, all right here. So next episode will be, the entirety of the courtyard. Then we'll be pushing into the back part of the castle, taking out your boss, and, just going from there. So what we're going to do to rest is jump up to Rampart Tower. And from here, let's see what we got. I know we're close to a level. I don't know how close, but I know we're close. It's like 12,000 right now. That is more than good. But it leaves us a little bit extra towards our next. Alright, now we're good. 9 more levels and health is done. So either way, guys, with that, we're going to wrap up here. Next episode, we will be wrapping up Stormveil, then getting ready for your next region. So y'all stay tuned. Please subscribe for more walkthrough, and we will catch you back here next time.